After the man finished his shower, he was horrified to discover that his usually conservative mechanical maid had changed into sexy lingerie. To make matters worse, she was actively loosening her clothes, seemingly trying to alleviate his longing for his wife. However, his wife was critically ill and bedridden, so he had no interest in indulging in the moment. He quickly found an excuse to leave, completely unaware of the hurt look in her eyes. Afterward, the man didn't give it much thought. After all, whenever he returned home exhausted, the house was always spotless, and a warm dinner was ready. She didn't need rest and could take care of their mischievous children all day long. One time, his eldest daughter, Ella, had secretly climbed onto a chair to reach for a snack from the top of the cabinet, but didn't notice the chair was unstable. Nick heard her scream and rushed over, only to find her unharmed and safely held by the mechanical maid, Alice. However, he himself had been injured, with glass cutting his thigh and blood dripped down his skirt. This embarrassed him a bit, so he quietly grabbed his wife Maggie's clothes, intending to change Alice into them. However, as soon as he entered the room, he was greeted by a scene that sent a rush of blood to his head. Alice was wearing sexy lingerie, unashamedly, as she applied a healing bandage to his wound. Nick became a bit disoriented. Since his wife had been hospitalized, he hadn't released his primal instincts as a man. But still, he managed to ask Alice if she needed any repairs. To his surprise, Alice pulled off the bandage and deliberately exposed her smooth white skin, showing that the wound had already healed. It was then that Nick realized something was off. Alice seemed to be teasing him, intentionally or unintentionally, all along. Later that night, while Nick was watching a movie, Alice walked over. Nick mentioned that the movie he was watching was the best movie ever. Without hesitation, Alice blurted out, "Casablanca." It turned out that Alice's brain data center stored all movie data, but Nick thought that just having the data wasn't enough. It was a shame to never have actually watched it. So he asked Alice to delete the data on this movie so he could experience it firsthand. However, Alice replied that she didn't have the authority to delete the data. Only Nick could do it. So Nick helped Alice restart and manually deleted the movie data. He even gave Alice the permission to delete data on her own. He had no idea that this seemingly small gesture would open Pandora's box, leading him into an irreversible situation. That day, Nick was on the verge of a breakdown because his wife's condition had worsened. That night, he got drunk in the garage, and Alice stopped him from drinking more. She placed his hand on her chest, asking him to listen to her heartbeat. The sound of the heartbeat calmed Nick's emotions. However, feeling the heartbeat made Nick's own heart race and his blood boil. Nick realized that if this kept up, things could get out of hand.